guys, so welcome to Jake's Gaming Corner, and for this video we're going to be replacing an analog stick and a Nintendo Switch Joycon. This will be for the right side, but the process is very similar for both sides, left and right. So let's get started on this. And here's our new Joycon. So what we're going to need is a tri-wing screwdriver. And we're going to need to remove this screw, this screw, this screw, and this screw. So let's go ahead and start that. We want to set those to the side and keep them all together. They're all the same size, so they can all go back in either or any of the holes. This last screw is a little tricky if you're trying to do it from a flat down. Well, mine's just slipping. That last one was in there, but we got her. So now what we're going to do is take a prying tool. You just want to try to get into that gap there. Pop that open. Be very careful with this because there are two ribbon cables attached to this right here and here. So you want to make sure that you don't accidentally pull one of those out. And then our next step is going to be to pry our battery out of here. And you can just pull it right on out. It only goes in one way, so you can just pop it on out. Then what we're going to want to do is we have a screw here and a screw here. And those are both Phillips. So we're going to want to get a Phillips bit. We're going to want to remove those screws. And we're going to want to keep these screws separate from our other screws because they are significantly shorter and they are also Phillips and not a tri-wing. So once we have those two screws removed, we can remove, oh, I lied, there's three screws, I forgot, there's a third screw right down in here, so you're going to want to remove that as well. And then, once we have all three of those screws removed, we can remove this side, and we want to move it to this side. You don't have to detach either one of those, you can, if you feel comfortable with the ribbon cables, but I don't. I feel comfortable removing the ribbon cables, but I personally do not remove them. I just work around them. So, then here we are with our analog stick. That's what we're going to be working with, or working at. So what we're going to want to do next is we're going to have to unhook this ribbon cable right here. So we're going to want to just flip that up and grab it and pull it out of the way. Just lift it up. Then we're going to want to take our tweezers again. We're going to want to lift this up right here. I don't know how well you can see that. We're going to want to lift this latch up. And that's our ribbon cable for the analog stick itself. So once you get that lifted up, you can go ahead and remove the two screws that are holding the analog stick down. You're going to want to keep those separate from all your other screws as well because they are a different screw. They actually may be the same screw as the last ones, but just to be safe, it's always best to keep your screws separate and put them back in where they came from. Just so no mistakes are made. So now that we got that done, you want to carefully lift your analog stick out of here, because there is a little black ring that prevents dust from getting in here. So you want to make sure you don't pull that out, and the analog stick will just lift right on out. So now what we want to do, and be very careful, I got very, very lucky with your bumpers. There's a spring on it, and I got lucky my spring did not fly off, because it just came popping off of there. So now what we want to do is take our new analog stick, drop it into place, work it around that dust shield there, and we want to work it around this ribbon cable, and boom, drop her into place. Grab our screws, if I can get it on the screwdriver, and we want to go ahead and tighten this down before we do anything else. It's just going to make it a lot easier to work with if we already have it tightened down. So then we're going to want to move this to this side. Grab our ribbon cable with our tweezers. And push it. Oh. I'll use these tweezers. Oh, nope, those tweezers aren't working that well. So grab it, and it's easier to do with your finger. I'm just trying to use the tweezers for the light so you can see, but I'm just going to go ahead and get this in here. Oh man. There we go. And you just want to get it in there enough to where you can latch it and lock it in. And there's that one. Then we want to lift this ribbon cable, or this latch back up for this ribbon cable. Grab it with our tweezers. And in we go. Much easier. I don't know why I was having such a hard time with that one. And now what we want to do is take our bumper, if it's fallen out, you want to go ahead and put it back in. And it just sits right in there. And then we want to just reverse this process that we did to take this apart to put it back together. And then we'll test it out and make sure everything works right. And if so, then that should take care of all of our drift issues. And we'll be good to go. And you definitely do not want to tighten these down too tight, just in case you have to get back in here ever, and just because it's not good for the the screw holes or the screw mounts. If you tighten them in too tight, it can stress the plastic and cause it to either crack or break entirely, and that would be no good. You want to sit your battery back down in there after you clip it in, and it's simple, it just clips right down in there. You want to put your back cover on. You want to make sure that these ribbon cables in here fold back in the way they did, or the way they were, and you want to kind of work the rail on, and you want to make sure you hear that nice click, and you'll know it's good to go. And ready to put our tri-wing screwdriver tip back in and put in our screws. And these screws are not magnetic. I thought they were. Either that or my magnet is getting very weak on my screwdriver. Alrighty. I didn't see my light on my camera. I thought maybe it stopped recording, but we're good. So we want to put our screw back in here. Then our top ones. Ugh. Fingers are a little sweaty, so I dropped the screws. And our last screw, here we are. Alrighty, and we'll go ahead and test her out. Alright, so we'll go ahead and test this out now. Here's the Joy-Con that we fixed. You can kind of tell the difference between this and this Joy-Con just based on the shininess of the black here. I know it's kind of blurry, but it's because I got my camera zoomed in so far. But what we'll do is go to the settings. Sorry that it's a little bit blurry, but you want to go down to controllers, go down, where's it at? Oh, all the way down to the bottom. Calibrate control sticks, and then you want to hit down on the stick that you replaced. So we'll hold on, let's recalibrate this. Calibrate. And I would say we're good to go. No more drift. So there you guys go. That's how you guys can replace your Joy-Con analog stick and take care of any issues with drift that you guys are having. So I hope I was able to help you guys learn something. If not, I hope you enjoyed it, and be sure to check in for more later on. Until then, thanks for visiting Jake's Gaming Corner, and we'll see you later.